So in this new era that we're living in, it's not the smartest that win. It's not the one that has the most credentials or the most skilled. It's the one that is most adaptable, someone that can evolve, can pivot, and can learn, relearn, and unlearn. Hi everyone, I'm Celeste and I'm a branding consultant and entrepreneur. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I share my journey of building a personal brand and business in this rapidly changing world where we live in, an era where technology is literally rewriting the rules of how we work, how we create, and honestly, how we can create value in our careers. So let's start with a quote that honestly shook a lot of people. It is by Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI. He mentioned that AI will wipe out entire categories of human jobs. And that sounds absolutely terrifying, right? Who would want to hear that the entire department might just disappear overnight? Just think about how the world is going into green energy, where the high-paying oil and gas industry may just retrench multiple roles. So even if it's not in AI, industry changes occur rapidly and your job may still end up being at risk. So what Sam Altman said is not something to scare us, but it is more of a wake-up call. It is a signal that the world we are stepping in isn't one that we can just work harder or learn faster. It's a world where we must fundamentally think differently about our careers, our skills, and our value. So we've all heard the buzzword of upskilling, reskilling, and lifelong learning. They're everywhere from social media posts to government initiatives and articles on career advice. And yes, that does matter, but the uncomfortable truth is that it is not enough, because by the time we master a new skill, by going through the course, doing the projects, and getting a portfolio done, the next wave of disruption will already be here. It's already knocking on the door. The World Economic Forum has come out predicting that by 2027, 44% of job skills will have changed. That is almost half about what we know and do today, and that is less than 2 years away from now. So we're not talking about some distant future, it's happening right now as we speak. So the scary part is that AI is taking over the white-collar roles like writing of legal contracts for law firms, designing of marketing collaterals and even videos, to helping doctors analyze medical scans to make diagnoses. Even Geoffrey Hinton was often called the godfather of AI. He came out warning us that the pace of AI is progressing much faster than he expected. And we also have Elon Musk saying that AI will eventually do everything. So one thing is absolutely certain. Change is accelerating. It is not slowing down, not plateauing. It is speeding up exponentially. So the real challenge we're facing isn't about learning faster. It's not even about learning anymore. It's about learning how to adapt continuously. It's about building that mental flexibility to evolve as the world around us evolves. Let's share an example closer to home. The country where I'm from, Singapore. We're such a small country with no natural resources, very limited land and tiny population. But we've constantly reinvented ourselves over and over again. We started as a trading port, leveraged our strategic location. Then we transformed into a manufacturing hub where we was the global trend. From there, we pivoted to become a financial center, then a tech innovation hub. Now we are positioning ourselves as a leader in AI and sustainable development. That's not just one transformation, that's multiple, fundamental transformation within decades. So you can see it everywhere around us right now, from the hawker centers to the neighborhood coffee shops, using QR codes for payment. Even I don't carry cash anymore. Our hospitals are adopting AI diagnostics to support doctors in making faster, more accurate assessments. So because of this new world we are navigating, the skills that matter most isn't just technical proficiency. It's not about how programming language you know. So because of this new world we're navigating, the skills that matter isn't just technical proficiencies. It's not about how many programming language you know or how many certificates you have on your wall. The most critical skill is mental agility. It's psychological flexibility, and it's the ability to face uncertainty without freezing up. So what we need now is not just a new skill set, but a completely new mindset that I call the adaptive mindset. And from what I've seen in my work with entrepreneurs, consultants, and professionals across different industries, this mindset is what separates those who struggle and feel overwhelmed to those who actually thrive in this AI era. So let's dive into these 3 mindset shifts to what it really means and how you can develop it. So now let's talk about the first major shift. is to think like you are your own enterprise. You're not just an employee that shows up and collects a paycheck. Your career is your business. Your knowledge and expertise is your intellectual property. Your network and relationships is your distribution channel. And your reputation, that's your brand equity. So instead of waking up every morning and asking yourself, what job can I get? Or what position am I qualified for? Start asking yourself, what value can I offer to the people that actually need it? Think about it deeply. What problem can you solve that AI can't? Are there any human elements like empathy, creativity, strategic thinking, relationship building that you can bring value to? So that shift from employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset changes everything. It transforms how you approach your day, how you think about learning, how you respond to challenges. When you start seeing yourself as a brand, something powerful happens. You take ownership. You start being visible, you establish authority and earn trust, not just within your company, but in your industry, in your field, and in the world. If you want to genuinely future-proof yourself, build resilience against disruption and change, you need to start thinking like you are your own CEO. You need to make strategic decisions about your development, your positioning, and your growth. So the second shift is how we think about security and stability. Most of us grew up wanting to have a long, stable career. We were taught to find a good employer, get one steady paycheck, and a clear title. We worked hard, stayed loyal, and climbed the career ladder. That was the model our parents followed and what our school prepared us for. But that model doesn't exist anymore. Look around at what's happening. Entire industries can be disrupted overnight. Companies that seemed invincible a decade ago do not even exist now. Job roles that were everywhere 5 years ago are being automated away. So if you build your entire life and career on one role or one company, you're essentially building your house on one single pillar. And when that pillar shakes, everything falls. So instead, think about why we don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversifying or having alternative income also applies to your career. This doesn't mean to be working 80 long hours a week, juggling multiple jobs, and burning yourself out. That's not sustainable, and that is not what I'm advocating for. What I mean is to develop transferable value, building skills, knowledge, and capabilities that travel with you across different industries, different roles, and different contexts. Maybe you're exceptional at communication, and that could work in marketing, leadership, or consulting. Or if you have deep empathy and emotional intelligence, you could be valuable in HR, sales, customer service, and education. These skills hold value no matter where you go. So think about building multiple layers of security, keeping your primary job, but also developing your personal brand on LinkedIn where you share insights. Maybe you are also thinking of starting a small consulting practice on the side and learning skills that could pivot you into adjacent industries if needed. The more layers that you add to your foundation, the more stable it becomes. And that is resilience. That is the real security in this new era. So the third shift could be the most important one, but could also be the hardest one for many people, which is to be the adapter and not the resistor. We know that change is uncomfortable because we are all wired to seek stability. But here's the thing. Resisting or fighting change will only delay our progress. It doesn't stop the change. Adapters, on the other hand, approach change very differently. They lean into it, get curious, ask questions, and experiment early before they even have to. They are willing to fail fast and learn faster. They don't wait for the world to change around them. They anticipate it. They see the signals, they read the trends, and they position themselves ahead of the curve. So here's something I've learned from years of working with brands, both established companies and small startups. The ones who survive major shifts are not the biggest. What protects you is basically being the fastest to adapt. The companies that thrive are the ones that see change coming and evolve before they're even forced to. And this is exactly the same principle for people and individuals in your career. When you're adaptive, you're training yourself to be flexible and resilient. So stop feeling constantly threatened by technology. Instead, start seeing it as a tool and as a partner to something that can amplify your capabilities. So let's take a moment to recap these 3 critical shifts because I want to make sure they are really clear. First, you are your own enterprise. Stop thinking like an employee, waiting for someone else to manage your career. Start thinking like a CEO, taking full ownership of your brand, your value, and your visibility. Second, build portfolio resilience. Don't put all your security in just one job, one skill, and one company. Diversify your capabilities and your opportunities so that you're stable no matter what changes. Third, become the adapter, not the resistor. Embrace change as your competitive advantage. Be the person who leans into new technology, new methods, new ways of working. Not because you have to, but because you choose to be ahead of the curve. So in this new era that we're living in, it's not the smartest that win. It's not the one that has the most credentials or the most skilled. It's the one that is most adaptable. Someone that can evolve, can pivot, and can learn, relearn, and unlearn. So if this conversation has resonated with you, if something I said clicked or challenged your thinking, do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button so that you don't miss what I will share in the following videos. And I also invite you to join the PIX community. It is a Facebook group where we are building a space for everyone to share their experiences, get support, and grow together. PIX stands for paving, interacting, and exchanging. And that's exactly what we do. We pave new paths, we interact and learn from each other, and we exchange ideas and encouragement. The link is in the description box below, and I'd love to see you there.